means researcher, and Dr. Dhiren Mishra basically is from Maulana Azad National Institute of Technology. So we welcome you, sir, in this virtual platform.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so for the formal introduction, I just request to the PhD scholar Priya Singh sir. So it is over to you, Priya.
Thank you, sir. Next, in this exciting and insightful series of lectures, I would like to invite Dr. Dhiren Mishra. Dr. Dhiren Mishra is currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Mathematics at Maulana Azad National Institute of Technology, Bhopal. He earned his PhD in cryptography from IIT Kharagpur in 2014, focusing his doctoral studies on security and privacy aspects of digital rights management systems. Following his doctorate, Dr. Mishra served as a visiting scientist at the R.C. Bose Center for Cryptography and Security, ISI, Kolkata. His research primarily focused on emerging areas of post-quantum cryptography, including multivariant public key cryptography, lattice-based cryptography, with over 90 publications in peer-reviewed journals indexed by SCIE and ESCI. Dr. Mishra has made meaningful contribution to his research field, earning more than 2,700 citations and achieving an H index of 27. He was honored by inclusion in Stanford University's top 2% most influential scientist list in 2021 and has been consistently listed among top cited authors in Science-wide author database. May I now request Dr. Dhiren to deliver his perspective on use of tables and figures and their citations in LaTeX. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for giving such a wonderful opportunity and to interact with so many participants in a virtual mode. LaTeX is truly an exciting way to represent our data, especially the people who are working in technical background. So before that, I would start sharing my presentations. Hope the presentation is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I'm also audible.
Yes.
Okay, great. When we talk about the LaTeX, actually, when we start something writing and doing something, we firstly interact with MS Word. MS Word is naturally a very user-friendly platform, but there are many limitations because each and every paragraph, each and every sentence, each and every word we have to organize. So if it is just application of one page, we really find it comfortable to manage with MS Word. But on the contrary, if we go for the larger document like thesis, report writing, or even in the research paper, which could have multiple tables, figures, what we realize that whenever we make a minor change or whenever we make any shifting of the tables, figures, many times we have to go manually to update most of the things, and many times we miss also. But on the contrary, LaTeX has the automatic features that if you remove one table, other table will automatically get updated with their reference numbers, with their citations during the documents, their numbering. You can manage the centralization. You does not need to select and then do the centering. You just have to do the command and select the command, then the things are going to be centralized, things are going to be rotated. So everything is going to be based on the command rather than manually. Word is a platform which provides you the manual hands on that, and here you can go by the commands. So the approach that we are going to follow during the presentation, we will try to show you some codes and their outputs. That will help us, to understand how these actually works, what are the different commands, what are the packages that we need to follow, and what we should not miss. What is going to happen when we talk about the use of latex? It depends on the context and our requirements also. So whatever we have required, those particular type of package we require to recall in our document, and that is something we can also see via running some codes which could have figures and table at the end of the stock. But before going to that, let's try to build up some foundation. So this is how the simple table looks like, and what we see that here we have the caption, we have some rows, we have some columns, and we have a structure. And what we see here, one of the nice and creative things, that everything is in line. That if you just see the first word D, in all cases it is just at the same line, and there is no mismatch. So I mean, it looks like it is properly being said. But if you just look into the codes of this one, the code that we run, and then we get this output, if you just see this data 1 is here, data 3, if you just see here, data 5 is actually here. So you see that everything is zigzag, but the output of this is very perfect. The reason is that it hardly matters that what and how we have arranged the inputs here. It just the matter that how you have arranged the commands. So everything is command based. Whatever way you are putting your data, whatever way you are putting your information, it is naturally going to restructure it and putting in a systematic way. So that is one of the beauty of this one we could see, but there are some particular things that we need to understand. One, whenever we write anything in the latex, we start with the begin command and we end with the end command. So /begin and /end, that is the key requirement. If I'm using the table, then I should use /begin table or /end table. So if I'm using figure, then these commands are going to be begin figure, end figure. So which is very much required. This is necessary command. Then if you just see the another word, which is centering. So centering is to keep the things in the center. That if you just look into this table, that everything is in the center in both the column. If you does not require to keep in the center, you can avoid this command. If you just see begin table and then there is a begin tabular. Begin tabular is actually the command which is going to allow you to moderate it, like how many columns you required. So it is allow you to input the number of columns. Number of rows, actually we can update it, but number of column is something we have to define at the starting. So how do we define? We write begin tabular, and then here we have to write. Now the command C is not for column, it is just the for that we are putting the things in the center. So we want the column first should be in the center, column second should be in the center, but sometimes we want left alignment, right alignment. For that, we will see in other coming slides that what the appropriate word we should have here. So we write here CRL as per our requirement, but it is very much necessary that if you are using, let's say, 2 columns, then you have to put 2C here. If you are using 3 columns, then you have to put 3C here. Then somebody say that it is necessary to write these lines, the standing lines? Answer is no, these are not necessary. If you want that your table should have these lines, these standing lines, then you could have these. If you don't want, then it is okay. Then we have the command /hline. So hline command is that before the column 1 and column 2, you see there is a line, right? So if I put hline, it is giving you a proper one line. And after column 1, column 2, we also see in the table there is a line, which is because we are using command again hline after writing column 1 and column 2. Now, who decide that which content is going to be in the column 1, which content is going to be in the column 2? Now, the command that is we are putting as a %. So if you are using the symbol %, which is going to be the deciding factor. So whatever you will write, then you will put the %, then whatever you will write, So before ampersand, everything is going in the row 1. Or after ampersand, everything will go into the 1 2 position. So this is going to be 1 position is first row, first column. So data 1, and then we have put ampersand. So this is going to bifurcate that. Okay, this is going to be the second column, first row, second column. And once you complete the row 1, entries of the row 1, we are putting double slash. So 2, you could say, scenting lines you have to draw, which is necessary. If you don't put these lines, the code will generate error. And then we have put the H line because we want that after that there should be a line. Then we have written data 1, so it's going to be first column. Then you have written ampersand data 2, then it is going to be the second column. Then you have written slash. Slash means 2 slash means you have started next row. So it indicates that this row is over. You are going to move towards the next row entries. Then we have entered data 3 ampersand, and then we have entered data ampersand means that this entry is over. You are going to put in the next block, and then you have put another slice. And then basically at the end, if we want line, we can put H line and then end tabular, and there are caption. So we have one slide which will reflect how the caption and why the caption. Caption will basically represent the information about the table. So in the Word, we also give the information about the table. So here, whatever you are writing, you have to give command slash caption, and whatever you like, you have to write within that bracket. And then here is one more command, which is label. Label, what exactly the label means, many times in the text we cite our tables. So this will generate the citation number for the table, and it will automatically get updated. So this is a table which have, let's say, 3 rows and 3 column, and let's say 4 rows. One row represent the information about the type of the data we would like to keep in each column. And here you would see that we are putting here LCR, right? So what L stands for, if it is many times possible that we would like to keep the data left aligned. So if you would like to keep your data left aligned, you have to keep the L, and which you can see here that names are here left aligned, right? So Alice, Bob, Charlie, they are all left aligned. So because in the first column I have written L, and since first column I have closed by 2 standing lines, so that is what this column is also being closed by 2 lines. Then in the next one I have keep C. C means centering. I want the data to be centering, and that we can see that A is 30, 25, 35. This is all coming in the center. The last column entries, the last column, I want that it should be right aligned. So I have kept here R. And what we can see here, that these all contents are right aligned. That you can see from right side, they are properly aligned, but from the left hand side, they are not like that. So it depends completely on the command, that if you try to make the first column as a left aligned, you have to write L. If you want the column to be sent, that all the entries should be centered, you have to put C. If you want that all the entries should be right aligned, then you have to put R. And naturally, this is all to be done with the command associated like begin tabular. And we write begin tabular, and then we write number of columns we required. So here we just required 3 columns. As a result, we are writing LCR, only 3 entries. And then what we want, that in the top row, or there should be 2 lines should be covered by that row. And that is the reason before name, age, and the third information, we have kept H line, and also after we have to put H line. And that is going to be taken. So what is the key tips from this slides we are going to get, that if I put a line to bifurcate 2 rows, then I have to use the command H line. Now, if in column I want to ensure the alignment, if I want to ensure left alignment, then I should use the command L. If I want to use centralized data should be in the center, then I should use C in place of column entries. for right side alignment, I should use R. Whenever your rows entries are going to be complete, you have to use these two lines after the end of each row. So they will ensure that, okay, row entry is over. How we will ensure that the entry of a cell is over? That we have to write something, then we have to use ampersand command. So ls ampersand. Now, what sometimes happens that when we have some interesting data like numeric data, in numeric data, please.
Sir, you have
Any
mentioned.
query?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
You have mentioned the number of rows. Sorry, number of columns with by separating it with the straight line. So, what if we have a huge number of columns? Like if 8 or 10 or more than 10 number of columns.
It doesn't matter. You just put one standing line after each column. It will separate it.
Oh, so we have to mention all the 10 columns and its alignment like that.
Like you have to write like we want to keep, let's say C. Maybe at the end, can I just show the demo?
Yeah, sure, sir.
I will show the demo, and through demo I will actually display. So which will be more interesting, I think. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
What if want to add one more column of serial number at the starting, and I don't want to write 1, 2, 3, etc. I want it some by default.
Could you please repeat again?
Yes, sir. I want to add a column of serial number like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't want to do it manually. I want it like the next means next row appear by default. Is there any?
You can always add, but you have to do the entries.
No, I want to say like.
So let me just take the
blank
page. 1 minute. Let me just take code for you. So let's take. We have this slide. If you want to add, let's say, some more thing here, for example, suppose if I want to add some more, so I have to write here, let's say C, L or R, whatever I would like to write. And then I have to make all those entries in the subsequent columns.
So I want to make a blank page, like, and I want a serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to say 50. And blank page is a blank page, and there are 2 or 3 columns. Say first one is of serial number, second one is of name, third one is of marks, and so on. And name and third column are blank. They'll be filled manually later. I want to make a list using this.
But you have to do the command. No, you can do everything. Like here, you can do any number of rows and column. But there are few limitations here. The limitations that we can't, just like in the Word, we can stretch like entries. Yes. So that thing is not, everything is the command based. In the command based system, the problem is that you have to enter all the commands manually. So it's not like that in the Word, in the Excel, we just stretch 1, 2, 3, and it is just going to fill the entire thing. So it's not like that here. You can create any rows and column, they will be properly aligned, but at the same time, you have to do the entries like 1, 2, 3, 4, as far as my knowledge goes. But you can add anything.
Thank you, sir.
Let's say we take this one, this table. Then let's just give one. So if I just try to add, let's say, some more columns I have added. So I would just add ampersand and ampersand, and then we can run this code. So this is what we will get the table. And if I put here lines, then the lines will reflect. So since I have not put any lines, if I put here some entries, like say 1, let's say 4, 1, and if I run the command, then it will reflect 1, let's say 41. But here I have not put any column, but if I put the standing lines this way, then it will reflect as a boundaries. Otherwise, it will not reflect any boundaries. Any other query? Okay.
Will you share this, sir?
Yeah, please.
Will you share this in group?
Okay, no problem. I will share this codes which will have all the type of variety. This will help you a lot.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So now what is going to happen? Let me just go and here. Can you just see the reg numbers? Like here it is 3.1416. This is 23.7. This is 125.1. So if you just see this table, this side, left side table, what is going to happen here? If you just see that after decimal, they are not matching. The text is not matching. It is 3.1 and it is 23. So here 3 is coming below the decimal, right? And here this 7 is coming here. If you just see this is 0.12, this is not, this is 1.0045. So what we see here, the contents are not properly aligned. But if you see the another table which is aligned with S, here you would see very interestingly the content, the first one is not aligned, but if you just see the second and third, they are properly aligned. So if you just see the rightmost table and the rightmost column of the table, this is 3.82, and what we see the next one is 4.24. So you would see that both the entries are actually have the same type of digits, they are aligned. But if you just see the next one, 0.0024, right? And if you just see the center one, either I will put the left alignment, right alignment, and center alignment. This cannot come this way. So we need another interesting, another type of command which can manage those kind of data. Because if I use left alignment, then it is also a problem. I use right alignment, then also have the problem. It depends on the data. If you just see the first row, none of the alignment will work. First column, sorry, the value, neither left nor right nor center. So is there any command which can help us, to properly align those kind of data? So the answer is yes. When we have numeric data and we want that, okay, something should be clearly come. So before decimal, after decimal, the thing should be properly aligned. So in that case, we use an S that should be capital S. That should be capital S. Earlier, the commands that we were using, they were small l, small c, and small r. But here we use capital S. Capital S represent the content should be numerical and they should be properly aligned. And now, what and how we use? So, like, it's a use is simple as we were using earlier. Begin tabular. For left, we are writing L. The something we want numerical data to be handled properly and properly aligned, so we are writing capital S. So here item we are written as a register since we are putting left alignment. Value here we are putting S, which is for numerical data, and what we see that it is going to align the content properly. But if you just see the left, right, or center, nothing is going to work here. So whenever you are using numerical data, you must use this S rather than LCR. So, which is very much helpful, right? So what we have learned so far, that if I want to have left alignment, I will use L, center C, right R, and if I want to keep something to represent my numerical data, I will use capital S. Now, what we see that here, this table looks very simple. This table does not look a bit professional. The professional tables and the content we would like, they should have little more, the lines that we use, they have some meaning, right? The lines should be used such a way that they will create impact. That when the line which is representing the content is going to be end, the line which is represent the content should be start, both should be there. And what we see that professional table actually should look like this. Usually here the column division we usually avoid when we are talking about professional tables. this table, to achieve this table, we should use the package and we should follow the package book tabs. So in the command line, you have to follow the package book tab, and then you have these names. But what we are seeing, that line size are different. But what we have seen in the previous tables, lines, all the lines which are representing division, which are dividing the rows, they are all of the same size. But what we observe in the next one, it is not the same. This is little lesser thicker. This is more dense, and we can divide this here other content by using the H line. So naturally, H line is not being used. What are the other command for professional representation of this one? We use the command like top rule, mid rule, and bottom rule. So the last row, last line is actually because of the bottom rule, the command bottom rule. So if you just see the code will actually look like this: begin tabular, and then you can give the commands left, center, right, whatever you want. Then rather than H line, here we are using top rule. So top rule is actually making it more, proper and more formal representation of your table. So it will make little thicker this line, and then you can write your content, bold face, normal face, that's up to you. Then it will write /mid rule. So mid rule means it is lesser thicker. It is means middle or division of the content. And then you are writing bottom rule. Bottom rule means that is going to end your content. So this is how a command-based things actually make the presentation or make the readability more effective. So it will bring more cleanness, it will enhance the visibility, and it will leave a good impact. So when we are writing like research paper, and when we are presenting our data, our data is numerical, like we are representing the computation time, or we are telling the computation cost. So the cost or time, when we are representing in terms of number, like 3.114 or 12.678. So we should use capital S, rather than LCR. Second, in table representation, if you use top rule, mid rule, and bottom rule, it will looks a bit better. And when the readability and view is actually going to be better, the chances that author or the reviewer will like your work is more. So, but now what is going to happen in many cases? So that is one thing, how commands actually help you. Sometime what we require to merge two columns, we also require to merge two rows. So if you just see this table, in this table, what we observe, that contents are presented in such a way that we require to merge few things. Like in the first, we are representing the ID. In the second, if you just see, we are representing the names, and we are dividing two categories, first name and last name. And then we are representing the score. So what we observe, that the name is actually covering both the columns. And then after that, we are creating columns, right? So how this kind of particular view could be achieved, and what we also see very interestingly, that there is a line, which is this line, which is start from here and could end here. So which is actually covering column 2 and column 3. So there is a line which is covering all the columns. There is a line which is just covering column 2 and column 3. So now how we can just have this small segment of the line, because if you just see the previous, all the commands related to the lines, they were covering the entire table. But here that is actually not the case. So for that, we have to modify the code a little bit. Second thing, sometime what we want, that we would like to fix the length, or basically we would like to fix the width of a column. Suppose we want our column should be 2 centimeter. We want our column should be, let's say, 3 centimeter. So those particular, fixing of the table or the fixing the size of the table is also sometime our priority. Now, how we can achieve all together? Let's try to explore. Now, there is a command which is called multi-column command. Right, multi-column command help you, to merge multiple columns. Here, if you just see the representation, this representation we will explain later on. First, let's try to understand how we can merge two columns just for one row. So we are using multi-column command, and here we are writing 2, C. So basically we are from 2 ID1, then multi-column 2C, then text we are putting the value. Text we have command is to make this a boldface, and then you are writing multi-row 2 to star, means the next one you would like to merge the rows, right? And then you are putting the next value, and finally you are writing C line 2 to 3. So the line which start from the column 2 and which just end the column 3 before first and last bottom line of the name. So for that we are writing the command C line 2 to 3. So C line is a line which ensure that till you want to start from where and you would like to end from where. H line is a line command which will start from the beginning and which end go to the end. So but if you want to have some partial line, then you have to use the command /C line, and that you can write here from where to where. Now, if you would like to merge the columns, then you can write which columns you would like to merge. So ID we have written first, and then ampersand, then it is going to view that we are going to represent the next one. Now, here we can also fix the length of the column. So here we have written P and 1.2 centimeters. So what it represents, begin tabular, and begin tabular, after that you would see rather than writing L, R, C or capital S, we are writing P 1.2 and then centimeter. So it shows that the first column, the width is going to be 1.2 centimeter. In the second one, we have just written C and C. Third also we have written C, second also we have written C. It represents that you are not fixing the length. It is based on the requirement. So if you just see here, the second and third column, the first and last, and so the width of this length is as per the requirement. But if you see the requirement of ID and the entries are very less, but they are leaving a lot of space here because we have already stressed the size of this column. We want to ensure that it should be 1.2. And the last column also we have ensured it is 1.2 centimeter. So what we observe from this entire discussion, that multi-column command actually try to merge number of columns. Multi-row actually try to merge the number of rows. And if you just look into this table, and then we have put H line. So H line is just before 1. You can see a line which is starting from this beginning and just going to end, and then also the last line which is also behaving the same. So what we observe, multi-column we write 2, C, and then we are writing it, so it is actually merging 2 columns, and since we are writing C, it is actually center alignments. Please. Hello.
सर ये P यूज करने के लिए किसी पैकेज का भी यूज करना होगा क्या?
If you use, like I have already mentioned, the package book tab. If you are using the package book tab, then it is all going to work for all tables. For this, does not require any additional package.
Okay, sir.
Then multi-row we have written here 2, and then star, so it is merging 2 rows and with the natural width. So star shows the natural width. And C line.
So will you share the PPT slides
naturally
after session?
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, when we see that what is going to happen, sometime in the Word you can keep your table wherever you want. I know you just paste the things and it is not going to move. But in the LaTeX, it is not like that. The table is actually latex, the entire process, the entire thing is just rearrange the thing in an appropriate way. So it is nothing is manual here, right? So it actually goes as per the content overview, so that the content should looks, in a nicer and should have better presentation. So to achieve the better presentation, it changes the places of tables. Now, sometimes it is possible that in some particular context, we want that some table should become at some particular place, which is very much required. So for that, we have to put the command and we have to use the package. The package that we use for that is actually floating. So you use the package, use package floating, and then with that package, you can put some commands which can ensure where your table is going to be particularly fixed. So here there are where actually we have to write, that is also the key point. So you are writing begin table, not begin tabular, right? So there are two things. One is begin tabular, another is begin table. People say that why there are two things. Begin tabular is actually to enter the content. But with table, we required so many other things. We required its numbering, we required its caption, we required its position. So to manage all such kind of things, we put begin tabular, end tabular command within begin table and end table. So even if you are not putting begin table, end table, then your content will reflect, but you can't manage labeling, you can't manage captions, you can't manage the position of that table. So those will be the part. So in order to manage all such kind of things, we put begin table and then we put, this bracket. And in the bracket, we are writing HTBP. It is most standardized actually, HTBP, but sometimes it depends on the our constraints and our requirements. So what are the requirements? Suppose if we want to place at approximate area, wherever sometime what happened that if you are putting at some place, then some area remain vacant. Or sometime what is going to happen, we are writing something and when we are calling the table, what we see that space is very less. And then we have next space. And what we want, that entire table should come at one place only. So in that case, we use the command small h. So we write begin table and here we will just write small h in this bracket. And then we do all such things that we were doing previously. And it will keep it nearby wherever it is more appropriate. Sometimes we want that table should be on the top of the page. So in a page, you are writing the table and it is possible that before table also some contents are there, after table also some contents are there, but we want that table should be readable first at the starting of the page. So you can write command T, and if you want to keep at the bottom, you can command B and a special float page, so which is P, so which is going to float your one. But sometimes we want to force the placement. So if you want to force the placement, then you have to use this command. This plus any of these, if you are forcing something. Now, sometimes I remain busy, rigid that I want to keep my table at a specific place. I don't want to change the place of the table. So we use the capital H within this bracket. Right? And there are some other commands we have used like caption, centering. So caption is also provide you automatic numbering, that if you are using the command caption, you does not require to write table 1, table 2, table 3. It will take it automatically based on its position. So if it is you have written one table, then you have written content, then you have written second table. So it will naturally take its number as a 2. Suppose by mistake or because you required to have some adjustment, you have removed the table 1, the table 2 automatically is going to be table 1. So those are the advantages of begin caption, and labeling we required, for the cross-referencing. Even if you use the proper labeling and if you use the command cross-referencing, it will list down all the tables that we use in the content. So we does not need to write that in table 1 we have given this, table 2 we have given this. It will automatically create that page and provide entire information, whatever the tables we have used in the sequential way. Now, placement is something we have covered so far. In the placement, let me just again specify that we are writing begin table, and here this is a placement. So I have written here placement. So at the place of placement, you have to write one of them. So if you write with this symbol, if you write H, or with this symbol, if you write T, then it is more emphasized command. Or whenever your position is critical, you use capital H with this bracket at the place of placement. And HTBP is default flexible placement. It will actually try to keep it more approximate at more appropriate place so that your space could be managed properly. So these are the floating commands. Mostly we use HTBP, or whenever we are required that it should not move, so then you should use capital H. By using these commands, you can place your table as per your requirement of the content. But whenever you are using capital H, it is very much required that you should use the package float. We have already seen that top rule, middle rule, bottom rule, but one thing we should use that we should use proper package. If you does not use proper package, how to use the proper package? At the starting, you might have gone how to create the document. And when you create the document, you select the style. After that, you put some packages. So here, if you use the package, use package, command usually starts / use package, and then we have to write the package name. So if I am taking as a book tabs, then all these commands would automatically support it. If you don't use book tab and then you are using top rule, middle rule, bottom rule, the code will show you some error, red flags. So it is always be recommended that use the package book tabs, which will make your table more professional and more visible or readable. Whenever I would like to give indexing of the table, and indexing of the table is possible when you have used the command label, right? Label is something here we have written, right? Label, here we can write the number. So table 1, you can write anything. So it's up to you what you would like to write. Why it is important to give the name? So name is something you can choose by your choice, but it will not reflect the same name. It will just to recall it. Whenever you would like to cite your table in the content, we will see in the coming slide, this will help us actually. So if you have given the labeling of your tables, and when you just write the command / list of tables, it will list all the table that you have used in the document. Not only list, it will also give the corresponding caption and the page numbers. So it will provide entire list, your table, your caption, and its location also. So list table command will help you in order to list down entire. This is very much helpful when we are writing reports, when we are writing thesis. So does not require to manually search, because document remain 200 pages around, and it is always get difficult to identify locations of each of the tables. It makes the task more accurate. But it is possible when we are using proper cross-referencing. So we must include label for each table. If you are not missing the label in some tables, those tables will not be reflect in the list table. And that we have seen, this is something we have already seen, but here one thing we have not seen, that how this table is being cited in the text. Suppose I have prepared one table, and let's say table 1 is talking about the notation and abbreviation. And then when we are writing some paper, we usually say that, okay, in table 1, all the notations are being presented, right? So how we will write, rather than we should write like table 1, or we should have some better way. So the better way is that we will put the command label. We should use the caption naturally. And in the caption, we are writing student performance data. And here we are writing /label. Here we are putting some name. Naming is always required, right? Tab performance 11. And then I'm writing when we, how we cite. So there are two things. When we cite a table, so let's say students performance is discussed in table, and then I will write slash ref and the name of this, whatever I have given in the slash label, I will write here. So slash ref command, ref command is to referring that table at that particular place. So if I write table ref this one, how it appear? It will appear it appear like student performance and is discussed in table. So the table number will automatically come. Now, even if this position and number and the location of this table is being shifted, this numbering is automatically updated. You does not require, to change here, because you have given the command and you have already naming this table with the command. So whenever you are going to update the location of this table, the numbering is automatically get adjusted. So manually we does not require to follow once we have already cited. So sometime what happened, when we update the tables, when we change the table locations, we require to verify our entire text, and we need to verify to go through the entire text to update the table numbering, which is not being required here. It is automatically being reflected. So these are the few things that you can also manage the line width, right? You can also manage the partial lines. If you just see here, we have given 2.5, 2.5. So it is dependent. Why we have given this? If you just see the text here, the text is too long here, longer text bar within the fixed. So if I do not put the width of this text, what is going to happen? It is going to extend, and it is going to compress the second column. So what is going to happen? Sometime if in row 1 I have longer text, and if I have not emphasized on the size, then it is going to cover the only one first entry is going to cover the entire table. Other will not reflect when you try to run the table. So if the contents are larger size and we want that should come within that framework, it can go deeper, but its width should be remain in the control because our page width is limited. So in that case, we have to fix the length of the columns. Here also, I have used the command like cline 11. So it means cline 11 means here it is just using this. So here see a cline 11 that I have used after this. So after this we have used. So what is going to happen? Only starting from here ending. So in the first column only this line is appearing. If I could have used cline 21, then it could have appeared only here. So this is how all these things works. Cline 23 partial line column 2 to 3. Cline 11 means partial line from 1 1, first column only. Now it is required, and sometimes we see that if you just read this table, what we see that before column 1 there is some space is left, and before column 2 is also some space left, and if you just see the text and after also some space is left. So what happened? The padding space always remain many times in the table, and sometimes we don't we require those space, so but without it is not going to take by default. So for that we have some certain commands that you can use this command to modify inter-column space, and if you can see this is default cell and content, and this is by using the command. So what the command we have used before this cell, we have used the command this one, and what is the advantage of that? That before cell there is no space, but here before cell there is a space. So padding is there, but here padding is being removed. So those particular things are possible. In the table you can adjust the space, you can fix the width of the column, you can before starting word and after starting word, so also you can remove the space, or you can create by default space. It's up to you. You can just need to put the values on the beginning of the table. But sometimes we look forward, can we have some default setting rather than adjusting each column and each row? Can I go in some way so that everything is going to be adjusted properly? So one more thing I just want to miss, actually I just missed that here what we see in all such things that rows are just coming by default like that. Sometimes you require that your rows should have some space. So if you just see the row size by default is 1, but sometimes we want to stretch. We would like to make it say 1.2 row size, 1.3 size of the row, 1.4 the size of the row. So those things also we can achieve. To achieve those things, what exactly we require? We require to use the command. So if you just see this table, there is no much space between each row. I would like to create default more space so that my data should be properly reflect, properly visible. Maybe some important data we would like to show sometime, and we want that proper spacing could be more impactful. So we can arrange the command, arrange array stretch. In array stretch, if I write here 1.5, then the width of this is going to be 1.5 times. If I just write 1, then this is going to be by default. If I write 1.2, then it is going to be 1.2 times. If I write array stretch as a 2, then it is going to be 2 times. So this is by default, and this is after renewing the command array stretch. So if you put this command before your table spacing could going to adjust according to it. If you don't use, it will reflect like this. If you use, it will reflect like this. So it is depend on us what we want. So how we are using this? So we have this table. Before that, we are putting the command renew command array stretch. So here are 2. This is default 1, and this is adjusted 1.5. It is not necessary that you follow 1.5. You can go 1.1, 1.3. Usually recommended range is 1.2 to 2. Sometime in the thesis also, or in some university, they want that between each row there should be some gap, or sometimes they say that it should be double gap. Your row size should be just double. So in the entire document, we can use the command array stretch 2. So by default, your entire document is going to have this stretched information. But what is going to happen if you just write this stretch command, renew command, array stretch 1.5, it is going to happen. It is going to impact the entire content which are coming after this command. It is make everything 1.5. But sometimes we just want that, okay, some certain selected content should only get impacted. So what we can write everything within this curly bracket. So here there is the beauty in the latex. Whatever you would like to want, or that particular things only get impacted, you can put those things in the curly bracket. And then you can do begin tabular and end tabular. And this is going to work. Now, as I told you that you want some time that things should get automatically adjusted. You should not require to fix the width and length of some particular row and column. It is as per the requirement. So that is also possible. Here, if you just see here, what is going to happen? We have used the command adjust box and adjust box. And here the box size we can fix. Usually we put text width, means whatever the text size is there, means the size in which that we are typing the text, it is going to take the size of that text. So when we use adjust box, it is fixing the entire table width. Your table cannot go beyond that width, right? Now, whatever the content you are writing, they will be adjusted as per the requirement. So if your contents are large, your font size is naturally going to be small. So if you just see in the table 1, you see the font size is coming smaller because sentences are too large to adjust in the table. Also, it's take the maximum requirement in each column. So if you just see the row 1 is requirement is just A, row 2 is requirement is also less, but row 3 requirement is high in the column 1. So it is taking the length of row 3. So in the same way it is going to work. And what is going to impact? It is going to adjust your entire text within the same table just with one row. What actually it is going to do? It is reducing the font size of the text. So if you want to avoid reducing the font size of the text, then you have to predefine the column width like P, and then we have to write 2 or 3 or 5 centimeters, whatever we would like. But if you just see the table 2, the content in the column 1 is higher, content 2 in the column 2 is little less, and 3 is much less, it has adjusted the size. It has automatically adjusted the size because what we are using the command adjust box. If you just see the table 3, the content font is same as we were using previous tables, right? So it is coming as the same font as the previous table because here the content that we are putting in each table are, or each row or each column are as much as our text or our width of the row is there. So this command automatically adjusts the size of each column as per the requirement. So the command should be adjust box, and this is how the command is going to work. If you just see this table, the table 1 that we have represented in the code, so begin table h / centering just to keep the center, then we are writing adjust box, and we are taking the max width, which is the text width we are choosing. You can take the half of the text width also. Text width means from here to here, the entire line, we call it as a text width. And then we have written everything, and then we have closed this. It will automatically adjust the content. Content will not overflow. But if you just see here, the contents are getting overflow. But when they are getting printed in the table, they are coming within the text width. But here, if you just see that the entire contents are not coming because the contents are more. So those are the advantages of these commands. We does not need to bother. We just put the values, and before that, if you have used the appropriate command, the things are going to be settled down properly. Now, one more actually interesting thing that sometimes what the students usually face and find it challenging, that when they write the table, they usually find the table is too long. So that does not appear in the single page. And what happened if we don't use proper command and we are making the tables in the lead text, it is not visible. Many contents which are coming below the, this particular line, they are missing. So in order to read and in order to adjust what you want, that if I have a long table, that some part of the table should reflect on the page 1 and other part of the table should go in the page 2. Same time, you also want that header should be continued, right? So that somebody who is just on the page 2 could easily understand that what column 1 represent, what column 2 represent, and each and everything. It does not need to go to the previous page. Can it be automatic? Manually we can do. We can put the content on page 1 and then we can put the content on the page 2. So here this could be achieved that automatically your table, few contents could be adjusted on page 1, remaining content could be adjusted on the page 2 with the continue header with the command long table. So if your table is too long, you should follow the command begin long table, and then as usual, and when you are ending the table, you just use the command end long table. Other are as we have discussed. There is no change. So rather than tabular, begin tabular or end tabular, if your table is too long, we will prefer command as a long table, begin long table and end long table. So your table is going to adjust. And there are many more, tricks and tips when we talk about what are the possibility error and how we can use other functions, like, there are which packages we should use. So recommended packages that I usually follow are book tabs, tabular X, long table. So when you are using long table, you should use the package long table package. And when you are using numeric data that we have used capital S, you have to use package sim C unique text. And then this is also when we want to beautify the things, put a little more, a better arrangement. So then this font appears some high. So these are the few packages which will make your table as per your requirement and make your content, well presentable in the form of text. What here one should do actually, there are a lot of things that one should be careful. That when you are writing any content in the latex, you must run the code after each and every edition. So if you have written something, you must run your code. Otherwise, what is going to happen? You will find it really challenging. When we talk about the source table, there is a lot of things to talk about the tables because it's always interesting and always require a lot of things. You can also, rotate your table. There are commands for that also. Those commands I could share with you in a separate text document. That in the document when you run, you can always get the feel of that. When we talk about figures, so since we don't have much time about the figures, we will quickly summarize it. So we include graphics, and then use width. You can fix the widths, how long you want, length and width of, and then you have to just write. So here we can call what we actually required in the latex. Then when you are running a latex code and when you are calling one figure, that figure should be in the same folder in which your text file is there. So since you have to compile, you have to run the codes, it is very much required that they are all in the same particular folder. You can rotate your figure by putting the command. You can trim your figure by putting your command. So if you just see here, we are putting text width as a 0.6, so it will just come in the part. It will not come in the entire page. It will just come in the 60% part of the page. So since I have put 0.6 text width, if I put 1 text width, then it will take 100% of the page size. I can also trim the page by putting the trim command. I can use the clip. If something content is going to outside, it can hide it. And then I can use the command angle. So if I use the command angle 10, it will rotate my figure 10. If I use the command angle 90, it will rotate 90. And this is how it works. Just let me show you something here. So if you just can see the tables here, the same tables are here. Here we have different width because contents are large. And you can see here we have used the begin center tabular, and here put the command like 3 centimeter, 2 centimeters. So you have fixed this length. The contents are going to be adjusted accordingly. And there are other tables like we can also put our table in this way. In order to put our table in this way, you can use the command landscape. And then you have side way table. So sometimes we also want the table should be should look like that. Basically, what happens when you do anything in the latex and when you run anything, you have to use a command, right? And the codes are being run, right? So whenever we are doing any adjustment, everything is going to run. And when we do some mistake, it will reflect like that. Line number it will show, and it will also reflect the amount of the type of mistakes we are actually having. So we can identify that. I think there are some queries. Hello. Any questions?
Abdullah Khan, please ask your query. Or switch off your mic. Anyone else want to ask? Can raise your hand or type in chat box.
Okay, any query? So these are different type of tables and figures. So the figures could be easily rotated also. This is how the codes will looks like. So here we have a couple of codes. Like here you can see that here we are putting 0.3 text width. So you can see the size of the figures. It is just smaller, right? Because 0.3. So the entire page, let's say, is 1. Out of that, 30% we would like to okay, it should not cover the entire page. Second thing, what we can see here, 2 graphs are coming side by side, right? So those are also being possible. You can use the command begin subfigure, end subfigure. And in begin subfigure, so it will take 1 figure, and then we are ending the figure, then we are writing a second figure. So it is actually possible to adjust 2 figures side by side by putting the command begin subfigure and end subfigure. Second thing, you could see that here this figure is a bit rotated, this figure is in the correct position. Why this is being rotated? Because we have put include graphics. Here we have put the command angle 50. 15. So it has just 15% rotated. If I could have, could it have put here 60 and could have again compiled this code, then you can see it has 60% rotated. Now, if I would like to rotate it, let's say 90, so I can put here angle as a 90, and then I can, rotate it, and then you can see it is 90% rotated. Second, the width I can increase here. Rather than stretching, you just need to put the command. I have put here, let's say 0.5 text width. And then if I use the command for the figure one, I'm just doing it. You can see the figure size has stretched. So you can control the size of the figure, you can trim the figure, you can rotate the figure, but everything is just, you have to use few commands, and that's it. And your presentation is going to be really, really better. Here you can see the figure 4 and the caption is appearing. So caption command is actually same as in the table. We are writing here caption figure with barbed text. So the command is this. We are using barbed text. So what is the advantage? That when we have a longer caption size, it is coming within the same. And also what we want, that what is going to happen here, we are writing contents and figure is just coming in the side. Usually if you just see here, the figure is coming in the middle. It is coming in the center position or in the left, but you can't see any content nearby this figure. Left hand side there is no content, right hand side there is no content. Also you can see there are 3 figures we are putting together, which is also possible. So what we are putting them together. That is also possible. But what we see here, interestingly, that figure is coming between the text. So if you want that your figure should become between the text, you have to, rather than using just begin figure and end figure, we have to use begin warp figure WRAP FIGER and then again end WRAP FIGER. So if you put within this command your figure, rather than just begin figure and end figure, your figure would be the part of the text, right? It would not be the separate entity that it is reflecting here. So if you just see here, we have used the command begin figure and end figure, and what we see that it is coming here. And here we have used width as a 0.5. So rather than 0.5, you may switch this width. And let me just do it for you. Packages, we use the use package graphics for the use package graphics for begin figure, end figure, those commands. Also required to use a caption command when you want to emphasize on your caption. Caption should look nice. Also, we would like to fix the location of this one. Then you should use the command use package float. So better floating control, like we would like to, here we have used floating a capital H. Capital H means it is not going to move. It is going to remain at the same place. So here, let's say I will use, let's say 0.9, and then I compile this code. What is going to happen? You can easily see that size is big. If I make it, let's say 0.4 and again compile, you can see that size has again shrink. So those are the things, just we have to put the command. It is actually adjusting it properly. What is going to happen in the word when you shrink the figure or when you adjust the size of figure, your content get scattered. It is not like that. Content comes very properly, very naturally. So those are the beauties that we can see, but precautions is very much required. When you want to rotate it and when you are putting the command like angle, you should use the package, use package rotating. So this package is required. If you want to use or want to put some angle with your figure, if you want that your figure should be adjusted between the text or near the text, then you have to use WRAP fig as a use package. So those packages are required. When we were talking about the tables, we also required many packages. One package, use package, like this is how we write document class, and then we require to write some packages. We want to merge some rows or column, then we have to write use package multi-row, use package book tab, to have a bit professional look, use package long table, use package caption, use package SINUYTX, alignment, numerical alignment. So capital S that we have discussed. So those are the things related to the tables and figure. How we get habituated by doing all such kind of things, so practice. So any questions or any query you have, please let me know. Please raise your query if you have anything.
Please use to share this text file with us.
Yeah, I will share this text file. Text file is very much useful. The reason is that they are covering all the commands, right? Rather than PPT, if you just take this practical, like hands-on kind of content, and then you will run and then you will try to edit something, you will find it's more useful. And additionally, in this content, you will see that when I have written the table 1 and I have given all the description that what environment it is going to create. When I have given the table 2 codes, and you just need to compile. And one more thing I would like to suggest, that you should use, like, if you are just starting, then you should use Overleaf. Overleaf is just free for one user, and over that you can put these content. You can just, with Gmail, you can create your account, and it is just free, and it will give lot of hint, and it will actually help you to catch error very fast. So here, when you compile, your PDF gets generated. When you get error, you will see here. When you click on this one, you can identify the error. So suppose if I just do some mistake, let's say I will, in this row, if I don't put these 2 lines after the end of this row, and then I compile, then what is going to happen? It will show red flag here. Extra alignment tab has been changed. And it will also show red here, that here you have done some mistake. It will also show red here, that extra alignment has been changed, right? So if I click on this, I can reach where I have committed mistake, and then I can correct it, and then I can again compile and I can get it. So Overleaf, if somebody is starting, I think even me till date we use Overleaf. It is really, really helpful. And since it is free for one user, you can share with one author also. You can share among 2, but you can't share with more your text file. But the only constraint is that it is online, so you can't install it. For offline, there are also free. One of the advantages that I see in the LaTeX, compilers are free, so we can freely use it. Any other query?
सर
प्लीज,
अगर हमारे पास 15 से 16 अगर कॉलम हो और 48 to 50 रोज हो, तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए? वो तो एक पेज में नहीं आएगा।
देखिए 15 से 16 कॉलम उसमें कंटेंट रखेंगे ना, तो आप उसको एक काम कर सकते हैं कि आप जो है ना पेज को रोटेट कर सकते हैं उसमें। तो वो जब लॉन्ग पेज हो जाएगा ना, जैसे आपने अभी हमने एक टेबल देखा था जैसे इस टाइप से, ये वाला टेबल जो है, इस टेबल में हमारे नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स ज्यादा एडजस्ट हो जाएंगे rather than in this table. And since we have the command of, और इसके साथ आप long table command यूज करिए, तो I hope it could be adjusted, but I haven't checked it, क्योंकि मेरे को कभी ऐसा केस नहीं मिला है जहाँ 30-40 rows we have lot of rows, but column is always challenging because if I have, let's say, 20 columns, then it's not possible neither this way nor this way I can adjust the content. So that's really, I do not know how to manage this, because they couldn't manage here, neither this way nor this way.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Row you can manage with long table.
Any other query?
Any question?
I hope there is no other query. Thank you, sir.
If anyone has query, they can write me on my email ID. So if you have any query or you want any help, you can always drop an email. My email ID is dhirendra@minute.ac.in. I will try to assist you as much as I can. So you can always write email to me.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session. Your talk was really amazing and hope it will help our participants in their research work. On the behalf of our organization and all the participants, I extend my heartfelt virtual applause to Dr. Dhiren for gracing this workshop with his presence. Thank you, sir.
Lastly, I just would like to thanks to Dr. Kumar for taking pen and initiating such kind of good workshop, because it is very much required, especially when people are maths and sciences and engineering. They face a lot of difficulty in writing the content. So I would say, I would express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Kumar for organizing such a wonderful workshop and for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you very much for accepting our invitation, and really you did very nice presentation, because we are facing several kind of the problems when we are just using the tables and figures. So regarding the placement or something else, we just faces several kind of the problems. So I hope the participants get the solution. Thank you, and thank you very much to the participants for carefully listening the session and actively participating. So yeah.
Yes.
So now
I would also like to express my sincere thanks to participants. They were actually, this was the live session that I enjoyed a lot, because everyone is asking queries, and it was like one-to-one.
They are actively participating.
Yeah, very much actively participating. Thank you for so much actively participating.
So now can we take a group photo? Yeah, so it is the request to the participants that please switch on your mic, switch on your video camera, so that we can take a group photo. Yeah, so Dr. Dhirendra, please unshare your screen so that we can go for the group photo. Yeah, so you are looking nice. Yes, so Priya, you can. Yeah, just a minute. Yes. Yeah, it's fine. So thank you. And we have completed all the sessions for today, and we will start tomorrow at 11 a.m. So thank you very much. And if is there any suggestion or any feedback from the participant side, so now it is open. Here we try to our best actually to provide the best of lectures from the eminent speakers. So although you may have some kind of the suggestions, so yeah, so any suggestion from the participant side? Okay, so now we are closing this meeting. Thank you.